Hi guys, just want to provide a monthly update. It's been a little bit, wait for the numbers to come out for the month of June. They're not reported yet from our local association. So usually about a month behind, because obviously this is already the end of July, July 31st, which is today. So the numbers hopefully will come out by this coming week for the month of June to report the data. Already seen the data for the showing time. That's what we use to book appointments online for any of these listings here in Hillsborough, Pasco, Pinellas, where we can track those things here locally for the market and see what's going on with that. But just wanted to show you some numbers from the month of May, just as an indication so you can have an idea of what's going on. So let me go ahead and share my screen here. And let me pull this up here. So this is local stats, and this you can see for Hillsborough County, single family homes, townhomes, condos, and then we have the Tri-County, which will be Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater, which will be the main market area that we have. Not really Tri-County, but just for Hillsborough, like Hillsborough, Pinellas. But it's just good, again, just some information there just to have an idea, see what's going on. So from May 2020 to 2019, so year to date, the sales were obviously down. A lot of it's still just some lag from COVID. We're still dealing with COVID. Obviously, that's going to be there, and we anticipate from what we're hearing from the experts is that they're saying that we could see this potentially going into the next springtime. Could be longer. We don't know. It's very fluid, very dynamic. But the median sales price, the big thing is that the prices have not gone down. So even in 2019, we didn't have COVID. You think the market, with all the news that's going on, the market would go down, but it's not. It's staying up, which is still a good sign. So really right now, I think the biggest indicator that's helping, at least again from what the experts are saying, that's the biggest economic driver is real estate. So the numbers, what they're looking at is for like new construction, a home being sold can generate about $60,000 back, going back to the economy for all those workers. So that keeps the cash flow going. When it comes to resale, the numbers are about 30 to 40 grand. That goes back into the pockets of people. So that would be obviously like people like me, myself as agents, brokers, people that work in the inspections, people that do the appraisals, people that do the surveys, title companies. The whole back end gamut of it is what's giving money back into those companies and those individuals being paid and going again back into the economy. Another good thing that we see is that the average original list to sell price ratio. So again, this is of a house, if it's a $100,000 house, if it's being sold, last year it would have sold for $97,800. This year would have been $98,500. So as close as it can get is just showing as an indication that okay, this is going to be more of a seller's market because they're going to get the highest amount dollar for their list price. And that's another thing too, where a home being priced properly, they're going to get the highest percentage back, either at 100% or above. But as an average, the median, or not necessarily average, but the median is at 98.5. And then the days on the market that's currently at last year 30 days dropped down to 25. This number is changing. Last month in April was at 27 days. So these numbers are going down. So that just shows that the market is very competitive in terms of the number of buyers that are out there. There's not enough sellers to be able to handle the supply for the buyers. These are the active listings. And this is Hillsborough County, but it also includes for new construction homes. 3,300 is, you can see the number is down versus last year. So that number is continuing to go down, down, down even more. Want the supply of inventory? Same thing, that's relative to this. Number is going down. So very competitive market that we have going on. Townhomes, very similar information. Number of sales obviously is not as great, but you know, from last year, you can see, and the builders are very careful, even back when the mortgage crisis happened in the mid 2000s. Builders back then were just building a lot of inventory. They were trying to keep up with the demand. They really didn't keep good track of the numbers as to, you know, number of people that were coming on board to buy in the community. Now they're taking their time. They're slowly pacing. So once it's based on demand. So once a person says, okay, hey, I want to buy a townhome, I want to buy a home, let's go ahead and sign the contract, and then they start the build process going forward. Before they were just building, you know, inventory. You know, hey, this month 5 homes, this month 10 homes we're going to build, and then they were hoping to sell them. Now they're controlling it a little bit more as far as, you know, the process, you know, making it a lot slower. I did talk to a good friend of mine that works for a builder, Highland Homes, and she actually made a remark that kind of caught me off guard. One of the remarks that she mentioned was that builders are increasing their prices of the homes, townhomes, homes, condos. They're increasing the prices. One of the reasons why they're increasing the prices is because demand for the homes, for new homes, has gone up. But the problem that they're running into is the suppliers. The problem they're running into is for the workers because of COVID. So to get supplies, some of these manufacturers have been shut down for 2 to 3 months. Some have not reopened. They're having to try and find supplies from different vendors. The workers having to be careful because, again, the people contracting COVID and, again, being around 6 feet apart can be a little bit difficult for construction workers. So they're a little worried, and maybe some of those numbers of those people are being furloughed, or not because not because of the employer, but because they're doing it themselves for their safety. So maybe they're not working 7 days a week, 6 days a week, 5 days a week. Maybe they're doing 3 or 4 days a week, you know, to try and minimize as much contact as possible. So you may not see a bunch of people working on one home at one time. So that may slow down the process a little bit. But as far as the builders, they're increasing the prices, not because of demand, but because of COVID. They want to try and slow things down, because then instead of it being a 6 to 8 month build, maybe now it might be 8 to 10 month build. So they're trying to slow it down a little bit, increasing the prices for those people, maybe price them out of the market, or trying to funnel to make the buying pool a little bit smaller, to try and contract that part of it a little bit more, to have a little more control over it, and also to be mindful of their employees and their subcontractors. So she made a really good point about that. I figured I'd share that with you. That's something that you may not hear or maybe think of on the back end of it. But going back to this, sales price again, the median has gone up. List to price ratio, again, has gone up again. Days in the market, this is a slight little bit of an adjustment, 25 to 28 days, but still pretty good. I mean, to get your home under contract within a month, and then probably take another 30 to 45 days to close. The month of supply is a little bit higher. And one thing is that, you know, when you look at the two, the median price of a home, just to say for rounding off the numbers, 275, and this one saying 200, right? You're talking about buying a home that is probably going to be likely a much larger home versus the townhome. It just really comes down to lifestyle, you know, preference, maybe location. You know, do they have kids? Is it a large family? Is it a small family? Do they have pets? You know, a lot of these little different lifestyle factors. And I would also probably feel as well that because of COVID, keeping people at home, maybe townhomes may not be ideal for that person, because again, you're working from home, maybe you have your kids being homeschooled or virtual learning or e-learning, and now you need more space because usually the kids or your husband or wife may be at work at an office, but now they're having to work from home. If you have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, let's say you don't have an office, your office may be in your living room, might be in your bedroom. So people are starting to kind of rethink some of these things and looking for a place that's a little bit larger. But just going back to this, when you're talking about, let's say $75,000 difference in between that on a mortgage, you're probably talking about, maybe, let's just say $300, difference per month. So when you're looking at your affordability, to see, okay, what can I buy for 200,000 in a townhome in the Hillsborough County, or in Pinellas, or in Pasco? What can I buy for 275,000 in Hillsborough? Maybe it's a 3-2 with a pool. Maybe it's a 3-2 with a large piece of land. Maybe it's a 4-2. So those little different lifestyle factors may follow into that. Townhomes, we may see that the people are maybe moving more towards to a single family house rather than a townhome. But the story here is just, very similar as well. For again, St. Pete, Tampa, and Clearwater, just some of the information be pretty similar, but as a whole, for the whole area. The other part I wanted to share is that's just homes that are active. Going back to that. Okay. This is going to be, and again, based on the numbers of what's being sold, but showing time doesn't show how much a home is selling for, how long it's on the market. This is just an indication of how many appointments are being booked by agents here, and this is the southern region of the United States. So it's not just Florida, but it's all these states right here in this area. This will give you an idea of the national showing time as the U.S. as a whole is at 165.3, and then here in the southern area, 158. So you're probably wondering, what does that mean? This is just the number of showings that we're getting, that you track the data. So from April last month was at 91. Now it's at 158. That's a huge increase from the month over. So you can see the demand of the showings of the buyers. Maybe they're a little bit more up to date as to on the safety precautions of COVID. Making sure you're wearing your face mask. Maybe wearing gloves or hand sanitizer or washing your hands, not touching stuff when you go to these showings. Could be that agents may be doing virtual showings, which I'm doing a lot of for people that are either in town or out of town. But one thing here you can see is a large increase, and then over last year, 23% change. So the number keeps on going up in terms of the activity. This is right here from June 2019 to May. So we can see the number has increased, and again, from April 91. So you can see just after Christmas, things kind of slow down. That's how it is with the market, just before the holidays. And then January picked up, February was really, we're really tracking upwards. And then COVID hit, and then it went down. Obviously, it went down more, and now it's swinging back up. So this is just a way to track, as you can see what the showings are, what's going on. And then even last year, this is pretty cool. You see that the number drops down here just before the holidays, and then it stays pretty consistent where we get into that upswing of how the market is over last year in 2019. Excuse me. A lot of people are moving just as the school year is about to finish up, because you do see a little bit of a tick of this slows down after that spring break. But then once we get into that area, when it's the summertime, it picks back up because people are out of school. That's when they want to make their moves. So you can kind of see how the market tracks, going up and down. Not huge swings that you would see like in the stock market, anything like that. But it's just some good information I just wanted to share about, what is going on the showings, but also in the month of May on the stats there. The other thing I wanted to share is here on the MLS, looking at, and this is just the month of May, May 1st and May 31st, because, just going back to what I just shared here for the month of May, just because, again, June hasn't reported yet. But the number of homes sold in Hillsborough County, when I put in that search, I didn't narrow down, if it was a condo, if it was a single-family home, or a townhouse. Didn't sort out if it was new construction, but you have over 2,000 homes that sold in 1 month. If we take out the new construction side of it, number drops down. So about a good, about a good 525 were new construction builds of that number as a whole. Okay, so right there, that's a pretty good chunk of homes being sold in new construction. All the others are resales. Maybe you might be wondering if it's a property that's auctioned. That's one method that people can use. They'll throw it up on an auction site, and maybe it sells for more than what initially they would have listed it for. If there's any bank foreclosures, very little foreclosures, and even then, some of the prices of foreclosures, people are always trying to see if they can find a deal. Likelihood, foreclosure property, you're not going to get a deal. Be very difficult. Same thing with short sales. Might be able to find a deal here and there, but they take a while. And you can see in Hillsborough as a whole, only 8 of them. A lot of people are worried about, okay, what's going to happen to the market? A lot of people are getting laid off. Foreclosure market, foreclosure wave is going to come back again. We haven't seen that yet. Not enough to be to the point where we're concerned. Normal homes that are being sold that don't have the auction, don't have the bank owned, that don't have the short sales, you got almost 2,000 homes that are on there. Properties, should I say. So that's just the home side of it. If we go into vacant land, we go into business like commercial, you'll start seeing a pretty good uptick of properties there. But if we take this out here, and again, just look at the map of Hillsborough alone, you can see, and these don't show, as a whole, the hotbed, just, hotbed of homes. It just shows them in general what the activity is. But if I go into the results, I can see and sort these out, by location, even narrow down by zip code, city. We can narrow down by subdivision. So there's a lot of little detailed information we can really go into. We can sort it by condominium, townhome, or single family house. And even if we wanted to narrow down to if it's a community pool, or if they have no pool, or if they have a private pool. So there's a lot of little different things that we can do to look into it. But if you guys need any help with if you're looking to buy or looking to sell here in 2020, just reach out. We can just have a conversation. We can jump on a Zoom call just like this. I can show you a little bit more information if we really want to get hyper local into your specific subdivision or your part of town. But if you need to reach out, give me a call, send me a text, email, any way you can reach me. Okay. But just wanted to share this information with you guys. Just want to say thank you, appreciate it. And, we do have a storm that's coming in over the weekend. So just be safe. Don't do anything crazy. And, just keep an eye out for your family and just try and stay as healthy as possible. Okay? All right. See you guys.